dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom. My dear students, today in our 7th standard geography, we'll be learning the topic agriculture. You people are well familiar with the concept of agriculture, or we can say with the word agriculture, because agriculture is the main occupation in our country. Number of people or number of percentage of population in our country is engaged in agriculture. In rural India, agriculture is the main occupation of the people, and directly or indirectly, number of people are dependent on agriculture. So, in this topic, we are going to talk about agriculture and types of agriculture and the related things with the agriculture. Now, what you people have to do, just observe this figure and answer the questions or discuss the questions given for this figure. And the first one, what all do you see in the picture? What all do you see in the picture? Now in this picture you can see buffalo, then here also goat, then dog, farmer, his wife, and hen. Then why has the family kept goats and hens? You have to discuss this with your friends, or you have to answer this question by discussing with your classmates. Which implements are seen in the picture? Now if we talk about implements, then this one is the implement, then one more is here. Then how are these implements used? In which major occupation type? In which major occupation type will the activity shown here be included? And the answer is very clear. It's agriculture. What could be the main occupation of these people? Again, the answer is very simple, which is agriculture, because by observing this picture we can easily understand that the main occupation of the people or of this family is agriculture, because the things related with the agriculture we can see here. ये यहाँ पे एक फार्म दिख रहा है, एग्रीकल्चर में जो रिलेटेड एनिमल्स होते हैं वो सब हमें यहाँ पर दिख रहे हैं. देन द थिंग्स और द इम्प्लीमेंट्स जो रिलेटेड विद द एग्रीकल्चर है वो भी हमें दिख रहे हैं. देन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, who could be the owner of the house? Who could be the owner of the house? That also you can see very clearly. And then the last question, which product shown in the above picture do you use daily? So in the picture which is on the screen, we see a standing crop here, then a plowshare, etc. And from this it becomes obvious that this is a farmer's house. किसका घर है ये? This is a farmer's house. A farmer keeps hens, here you can see, then sheep and goats and cattle. They are also seen in the picture. He gets milk, eggs, etc. from them, and he sells hens, goats to earn money. ये सब क्यों रखा है? To earn money. By selling these things he earn money. He does all these for his subsistence, and all these occupations depend on natural factors. Again we are on the natural factors. Number of things related with the agriculture are directly related with the natural things or natural factors or natural resources. For example, milk यहाँ पर जो हो रहा है, या फिर hens जो है, यहाँ पर goat जो है, all these things are related with the natural factors or naturally available. All these fall under agriculture, and these occupations are supplementary to the cultivation of crops, which is very important here to understand why all these things are there in a farmer's house. फार्मर के घर पे एग्रीकल्चर के साथ साथ हमें ये सारी चीज़ें क्यों दिखती है? बिकॉज these things are supplementary to the cultivation of crops. खेती में सिर्फ क्रॉप निकालना ही एक फार्मर का काम नहीं है, बल्कि ये सारी चीज़ें जो है उसके साथ ये सप्लीमेंट्री है। फिर वो मिल्क निकालना और उसे बेचना, या फिर हेन है या फिर गोट है उन्हें बेचना खरीदना, ये जो काम है, ऑल दिस थिंग्स आर सप्लीमेंट्री टू द agriculture. And agriculture has a wide scope for our basic needs of food and clothing. We make use of plants and animals, which we all know. If we talk about our basic needs, then it includes food, shelter and clothes. Among these, food and clothing जो है, for that we need agricultural products as raw material, and besides the cultivation of different crops, rearing cattle, sheep and goats, maintaining poultry farms, keeping bees, sericulture, horticulture, orchardry, pisciculture, pig farming, emu farming, etc. are included in agriculture. Now on the screen we can see the pisciculture or pig farming or orchardry, but इन सम केसेस और समवेयर इन आवर कंट्री ऐसे बहुत सारे फार्मर है कि खेती के साथ साथ ये भी सप्लीमेंट्री चीज़ें करते हैं. सो इन एग्रीकल्चरल ऑक्यूपेशंस रिसोर्सेस लाइक मैन पावर, एनिमल्स, इम्प्लीमेंट्स. हियर मैन पावर ये तीन दिख रहे हैं हमें, दिस वन इज ऑल्सो फोर्थ, एंड एनिमल्स. नॉट ओनली मैन पावर, नॉट ओनली एनिमल्स, बट इम्प्लीमेंट्स ऑल्सो प्ले वेरी important role. But advanced technology is employed nowadays in agriculture. Cultivation of crop is considered to be the main and the most important occupation. When we talk about agriculture, then the main and the important work is cultivation of crops. उसके साथ साथ ये बाकी चीज़ें जो है वो सप्लीमेंट्री आते हैं. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट एग्रीकल्चर, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग विच वी हैव टू कीप इन माइंड इज दैट cultivation of crops is considered to be the main and the most important occupation. Now on the screen one more figure 9.2, and the heading of this is traditional and modern agricultural activities. Again I'll repeat the same thing that in 5th standard CVS you people already learned about the progress of humankind or development of humankind from wandering in the jungle towards the settlement or settling of the life. ये सारी जर्नी हमने देखी है. in that how we came to be was the heading of our textbook, और उसमें हमने ये सब पढ़ा है कि कैसे बाकी एनिमल्स की तरह इंसान जंगल में घूमता था और हंटिंग करता था, लेकिन धीरे धीरे जैसे खेती उसके हाथ लगी या खेती करना वो सीख गया, वैसे वो धीरे धीरे सेटल होता गया. एंड टुडे वी आर हैविंग number of metropolitan cities and the rural culture, urban culture, mixed culture somewhere. So all these things are related with the agriculture. Now if we people observe this figure, what you people have to do, observe the pictures, and what differences do you observe through these pictures. Difference क्या दिख रहा है? What changes have taken place in traditional agricultural practices? For example, this one to this one to this one, from this to this, and from this to this, again from this to this and this to this. All together we have 9 pictures, and in 9 pictures we are seeing the steps. उन स्टेप्स में हमें ये दिख रहा है कि किस तरह से एडवांस्ड टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से अलग अलग चीज़ें यूज़ हो रही है. जैसे यहाँ पर है देखो, अपने हाथ से कटाई हो रही है, यहाँ पर बुलक का यूज़ हो रहा है, एंड हियर यू कैन सी ट्रैक्टर. हियर ऑल्सो फॉर वाटरिंग क्रॉप्स, ये सीधा पाइप है, देन स्प्रिंकलर है, फिर और एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज़ किया जा रहा है. हियर ऑल्सो फॉर पोल्ट्री, एक घर में रखा गया फिर उन्हें अलग तरीके से रखा गया, एंड हियर एडवांस्ड टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ पोल्ट्री फार्मिंग की जा रही है. सो इन these pictures we see the changes in agricultural practices. In the past, primitive man had to wander in the forest, this one, and about this we people already learned. In the past, primitive man had to wander in the forest to sustain himself on the collected forest produce. And later he learned the art of cultivation and started getting greater production from the land. This one is the thing which changed human life rapidly. Through this, he could provide for the whole year's need for food grains, and that's why he settled down at one place. क्योंकि उसे खाना ढूंढने के लिए जगह बदलने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ रही थी, and that's why he settled at one place. After that, he also started obtaining a number of products through floriculture, horticulture, rearing animals, pisciculture, etc. And abandoning nomadic life, he undertook different occupations related to agriculture at the same place, जिन्हें हम supplementary कह रहे हैं, supplementary with the agriculture. So now let us get introduced to the different occupations that come under the scope of agriculture, which goes parallel with the agriculture or with which is supplementary to the agriculture. We use the products of these occupations in our everyday life, and these traditional occupations are allied activities in agriculture. Now we have 2-3 words for this. Allied activities कहा जा रहा है, then supplementary activities भी कहा जा रहा है, and one by one now we'll talk about this. And the first one, animal husbandry, what we call it, rearing different animals. Rearing different animals and obtaining various products from them for subsistence is the core of animal husbandry. Not only rearing animals, सिर्फ उन्हें rear करना है, सिर्फ उन्हें संभालना is not animal husbandry. उससे कुछ प्रोडक्ट बेच के या प्रोडक्ट निकाल के मनी कमाना या फिर पैसे कमाना, ये जो चीज़ है दैट इज कॉल्ड एनिमल हस्बेंड्री. रियरिंग डिफरेंट एनिमल्स एंड ऑब्टेनिंग वेरियस प्रोडक्ट्स फ्रॉम देम for subsistence is the core of animal husbandry, and we have number of examples of animal husbandry, and the very first and the most which is very much allied activity in agriculture, or very much parallel activity in agriculture, or which is the most supplementary act in while doing agriculture or while practicing agriculture, that is dairy farming. Cows, oxen, buffaloes, etc. are reared for agriculture related work. And rearing milk animals. Rearing milk animals and animals which can be employed in farming is also an occupation. It is considered to be an inseparable part of mixed farming. What it is called? Mixed farming. और इसे फार्मिंग से अलग नहीं किया जा सकता, क्योंकि जैसे मैं बार बार कह रहा हूँ कि ये पैरेलली एग्रीकल्चर के साथ ही जाता है. इट हैज़ बिकम क्वाइट कमर्शियल इन रिसेंट टाइम्स बिकॉज पीपल आर नाउ अवेयर अबाउट ऑल दिस सप्लीमेंट्री थिंग्स विच गोज विद द एग्रीकल्चर. इन इंडिया it has started changing recently. Commercial dairy farming is mainly undertaken for meat and milk. हम देखते हैं कि मुंबई जैसा बड़ा शहर है और इतना पॉपुलेशन है यहाँ पर, और जो मिल्क चाहिए इतने सारे लोगों के लिए वो बहुत होता है, मीट चाहिए इतने सारे लोगों के लिए वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. तो ऐसे शहरों के आजू बाजू में जो गांव होते हैं वो गांव फिर क्या करते हैं, कमर्शियली डेयरी फार्मिंग में उतरते हैं, या फिर और चीज़ें जो एग्रीकल्चर के साथ जाती है उनमें भी उतरते हैं, एंड विच इज़ कमर्शियली बेनिफिशियल फॉर द फार्मर्स. नाउ नेक्स्ट टू द डेयरी फार्मिंग we have sheep and goat rearing. This is also a traditional occupation that is generally carried out in hilly tracts. कहाँ पर होता है ये? Hilly tracts में, where there is not abundant place available for farming, and in semi-arid regions with dry climate. Because of dry climate वहाँ पर crops के लिए पूरा पानी जितना चाहिए उतना नहीं मिलता है. So this one is the activity or occupation. Sheep and goats survive on short grasses, shrubs and acacia which grow in remote hilly rural areas away from urban settlements. In India, it is mainly undertaken for meat. क्यों किया जाता है? For meat, sheep rearing is carried out to obtain wool. So two things here which are very important to keep in mind, meat and wool. इन चीज़ों के लिए ये किया जाता है. Now next to the dairy farming and sheep and goat rearing, very important again, poultry. Keeping hens and other fowl is a common practice in all parts of the world, not only in India or not any particular geographical region, but in the all parts of the world it is very common and which is a traditional occupation. बहुत सालों से ये चलता आ रहा है. Today it is carried out as a household occupation and also on a commercial basis. Running a poultry on a commercial basis requires a lot of care. Nowadays we can add skill into this. अच्छे अच्छे स्किल जो लोग हैं वो भी चाहिए इसके लिए, इफ़ कमर्शियली उसे बड़े तौर पे करना है. तो फॉर दिस साइंटिफिक मेथड्स आर एम्प्लॉयड एंड इन इंडिया दिस ऑक्यूपेशन इज जनरली लोकेटेड इन द एरियाज क्लोज टू बिग सिटीज़. जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा आपको कि मुंबई जैसा शहर है या पुणे जैसा शहर है, इफ़ यू टॉक अबाउट महाराष्ट्र, तो ऐसे बड़े बड़े शहरों में जो ज़रूरत होती है इन चीज़ों की, जैसे चिकन है तो बहुत ज़्यादा चाहिए, तो इन शहरों के आजू बाजू में ये सारे चीज़ें पोल्ट्री की होती रहती है. इन सम एरियाज रैबिट, pig and emu rearing is also undertaken. Now next to this, beekeeping. This occupation is undertaken to obtain honey and wax. Nowadays honey is very important in the diet of people because people are aware about many things and conscious about their health, so it is important or becoming important. Bees, in order to collect honey or around the plants that bear flowers, and this promotes the process of pollination. People will study in detail about this concept pollination in science. As a result, the trees bear large number of fruits and the crops yields increase. So beekeeping is an important occupation with respect to agriculture. One thing which is very important here, that we are talking about the things which goes with the agriculture. एग्रीकल्चर के साथ जो जो चीज़ें जा सकती है उनके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं. बट बेसिक जो है एग्रीकल्चर का वो है कल्टीवेशन ऑफ क्रॉप्स. ये एक मेन चीज़ हो गई. व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट एग्रीकल्चर इट इज़ नथिंग बट द कल्टीवेशन ऑफ क्रॉप्स. अदर देन दैट, कल्टीवेशन ऑफ क्रॉप को छोड़ के, या फिर छोड़ के नहीं कह सकते हम, कल्टीवेशन ऑफ क्रॉप करके और कौन सी चीज़ें की जा सकती है? इट्स डेयरी फार्मिंग, शीप एंड गोट रियरिंग, poultry, beekeeping, and the next one, fish farming or pisciculture. Farm ponds are dug out for this purpose. Fish seeds are released in the ponds, and for this, seeds of fresh water species are used. In order to achieve the best growth of fish, scientific methods are employed. Nowadays, in poultry also, in beekeeping or in pisciculture, scientific methods are being used, क्योंकि लोग भी उतने अवेयर हो गए और प्रोडक्ट भी उतना अच्छा होना चाहिए, कमर्शियली रिजल्ट भी अच्छे आने चाहिए, तो ये सारी चीज़ें साइंटिफिकली की जा रही है. Enclosures like tanks are used to produce fish for commercial purposes called fish farming. Fishing in open seas has a number of risk factors, and which one is not easy for all. जैसे समुद्र में जाकर फिशिंग करना ये सबके लिए ईजी नहीं है, या फिर जो लोग समुद्र के आसपास नहीं रहते हैं उनके लिए भी ये ईजी नहीं है. सो डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ फिश एंड अदर aquatic organisms get caught in the fishing nets. Separating them becomes a major task. Now to overcome this, all organisms do not fetch the same price. जितने भी जमा हुए हैं, इकट्ठा हुए, so all these factors led to the rearing of specific type of fish species separately. Pisciculture developed out of these efforts. Here you can see farm ponds are dug out for this purpose. ये farm ponds है. Here also you can see. Here also you can see. And in this worm, roha, ravas, that is Indian salmon, columbi, prawns, etc. are reared in fish farms. Next one now. Sericulture. Silk thread. इसमें क्या हो रहा है? Silk thread is obtained from the cocoon. In this cycle you can see of the silk moth. These threads are very fine and strong. ये जो threads मिलते हैं इससे ये कैसे fine भी है और strong भी है. From these one can weave soft silk cloth. So getting silk thread from cocoons and manufacturing silk cloth are independent occupations. दोनों अलग अलग हैं. They are not included in agriculture. Different organizations supply silk moth eggs to the farmers. Leaves of mulberry trees are the main food for these silkworms. For these silkworms, once planted, the mulberry trees survive for a minimum period of 15 years. एक बार लगाओ 15 साल तक चलते. So the expenditure of planting the trees every year is saved and commercially it is beneficial. क्योंकि बार बार वो खर्चा नहीं करना पड़ता है. So now the next one, नर्सरी. अब मुंबई जैसे शहर में जब हम लोग रहते हैं तो बहुत सारी नर्सरी या फिर कुछ लोग होते हैं जो अलग अलग प्लांट्स लेके घूमते हैं बेचने के लिए. जून के स्टार्ट में हमें बहुत सारे ऐसे दिखते हैं मुंबई में. ये सारे कहाँ से आते हैं? तो ये सारे नर्सरी से आते हैं और ऐसी बहुत सारी नर्सरी आपने अपने एरिया में भी देखी होगी. In the last few years, the area under floriculture, cultivation of medicinal and aromatic plants and horticulture has increased. These plantations require a high standard of seedlings, cuttings, bulbs and seeds. Again the same thing. Skillful people इसमें भी engage होने चाहिए, then only इसका फ़ायदा होगा. This has led to the development of nurseries. And nurseries give good returns. Nursery से क्या हो रहा है? फिर अच्छे returns मिलते हैं. Next one, greenhouse farming, which is given in our textbook. Greenhouse farming facilitates getting maximum product from the land. कम से कम land में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा product मिलना. It can have a total control on natural factors like climate, heat, atmospheric moisture as well as soil moisture because it is controlled and covered. बहुत सारी जगहों पर हम देखते हैं कि because of the rain, excessive rain या फिर कम rain, उसकी वजह से crops नहीं आते हैं. But here all the things are controlled. It assists in getting maximum economic benefits. Greenhouse farming is highly specialized type of farming of the modern era. For erecting a greenhouse, galvanized iron pipes like this you can see here, ये जो iron pipes है, and plastic sheets are used. Its main aim is to control the pest attack by controlling water, light and temperature. So basic thing here which we have to understand is that the farming is controlled in this. Greenhouses are used on larger scales for growing flowers like lily and gerbera to give maximum economic returns. So in today's part we talked about the basic concept of the agriculture or what exactly it includes. What is agriculture? Agriculture is nothing but the cultivation of crops, but number of things which can go with the agriculture or number of farmers which practice the things which goes parallelly with the agriculture, or we can say allied activities or supplementary things with the agriculture, and that includes animal husbandry, in that dairy farming, sheep and goat rearing, poultry, beekeeping, fish farming, sericulture, nursery. And the next part of this topic we people will talk about the types of farming and importance of agro-tourism. Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications. So my dear students, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.